Hello, and thank you for joining us today in our study of the book of Psalms. Today we're in Psalm 144. This is yet another of the songs of David. And this one is, as many of David's psalms do, going to focus on the relationship of uh, God and man, but also specifically looking for help in time of trouble. And so you're going to have a common theme, but there's also going to be several statements in here that are great reminders for us when it comes to the power of God, but also when it comes to how we view ourselves in relationship to God. So let's look at what the psalmist has to say in Psalm 144. Beginning in verse 1, we read, "Blessed be the Lord my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle. My loving kindness and my fortress, my high tower and my deliverer, my shield and the one in whom I take refuge, who subdues my people under me. Lord, what is man that you take knowledge of him, or the Son of Man that you are mindful of him? Man is like a breath, his days are like a passing shadow. Bow down your heavens, O Lord, and come down. Touch the mountains, and they shall smoke. Flash forth lightning and scatter them. Shoot out your arrows and destroy them. Stretch out your hand from above. Rescue me and deliver me out of great waters, from the hand of foreigners whose mouth speak lying words, and whose right hand is a right hand of falsehood. I will sing a new song to you, O God, on a harp of 10 strings. I will sing praises to you, the one who gives salvation to kings, who delivers David his servant from the deadly sword. Rescue me, and deliver me from the hand of foreigners, whose mouth speaks lying words, and whose right hand is a right hand of falsehood, that our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as pillars sculptured in palace style, that our barns may be full, supplying all kinds of produce, that our sheep may bring forth thousands and 10,000s in our fields, that our oxen may be well laden, that there be no breaking in or going out, that there be no outcry in our streets. Happy are the people who are in such a state. Happy are the people whose God is the Lord." As you look at Psalm 144, there's a couple of clear delineations in what it is that David is talking about. In the first half of the psalm, he's talking about his need for God's help. He says, "Blessed be the Lord, our rock." And he's going to talk about several different characteristics of God that he talks about on several different occasions. Specifically, you think back to Psalm 18 and the opening there, that has a number of these very similar ideals to it. He says, "My loving kindness and my fortress, my high tower and my deliverer, my shield and the one in whom I take refuge, who subdues my people under me." And so you have this mentality and this attitude that God is the protector and that God is the one who is going to come to David's aid. Now, he is going to make the statement in verse 3. He says, "Lord, what is man that you take knowledge of him, or the Son of Man that you are mindful of him?" This also is very reminiscent of other statements that are made, specifically thinking back to Psalm 8, where David is going to make very much this same style of statement. It's one of these things that helps us to see that in all likelihood, these things are written toward the end of David's life, whereas some of the other Psalms were written more toward the beginning of David's reign as king. And part of the reason for that is there is going to be repetition in the themes and in the elements and in the ways that they are presented over the course of time. But here you have David saying that man is like a breath, his days are like a passing shadow. In other words, he does not last for very long. The time of his life, the years of his life on this earth, are not extensive, even if he lives to what would be considered a ripe old age. And so he asks God to help. He asks God to bow down your heavens and come down, touch the mountains, flash forth lightning, as we might say, do your thing. Take care of this problem and of these circumstances. Rescue me and deliver me. You're going to see that phrase twice here in this psalm. Rescue me and deliver me out of great waters from the hand of foreigners. Notice these are not problems that are coming from within, but instead these are invasions that are coming from without. And then you have the second half, beginning in verse 11 and going down, where he talks about the desire for God to rescue him and his people. But there's several statements that are going to be made that talk about so that this can happen. And then he concludes with the statement, happy are the people who have the ability to live in this way. You go down to verse number 12, and he says that our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as pillars sculptured in palace style, that our barns may be full, that our sheep may bring forth thousands and 10,000s, that our oxen may be well laden, that there be no breaking in or going out, that there be no outcry in the streets. Peace, tranquility, prosperity, long life for our families. These are the things that David is looking for and that he's asking for God's help to allow them to have. And then he makes the final statement. He says, happy are the people who are in such a state. Happy are the people whose God is the Lord. God's power has the ability to take care of many problems. God has the ability to assist and to help in all kinds of different areas. And we have the ability, with the help of God, to have lives that are filled with peace and the things that are necessary in life. And when we look at our lives with the help of God, we see that happy are the people who are in such a state, and happy are the people whose God is the Lord. And that it's not a matter of the number of things that they have or the level of wealth that they have accumulated and so on and so forth, but rather it is about who they are, their relationship with God, and the fact that in Him they find peace and strength and comfort. These are the things that I see in Psalm 144, and there are several other things that we could talk about from this text. But thank you so much for joining us for the video today, and I hope that these things have been helpful to you. Next time, we'll come back and we'll begin looking at Psalm 145. I hope that you'll join us then. But until then, have a great day.